As soon as someone purchases from you for the first time, or just any time, that's actually the perfect moment to present them with the next offer if you do it in the right way. Because at that moment when somebody has just made a purchase from you, they're at like maximum buy-in with your messaging, with you, maximum trust with you, and maximum excitement around whatever it is that you offer. And so if you have a next logical offer, whether that's getting more of the benefit that they bought in the first offer, if it makes sense, if it runs out, if they're going to reach the end of it, or moving on to the next thing, right? So solving one problem may create another, getting into one opportunity may open up the door to the next opportunity, etc. And so if you come up with a good offer, then the question is, how do you present it? And when you do it the right way, you can actually end up converting somewhere, it can be anywhere from maybe 20% up to 40, 50, 60% or more of the people who buy the first thing buy the next thing. And that can significantly increase your revenue and profits from even your initial marketing campaign. And so with that, I want to talk about how you talk about upsells. I want to share with you an upsell copywriting formula. And I'm hearing it like, I was actually inspired to get this from or to share it from an old Dan Kennedy recording, and he got it. He specifically mentioned that he got it. He was referencing Gary Halbert in it. I've heard a version of this from Justin Goff. I've used it plenty. And so I just want to share. Now, I'm specifically going to share the Gary Halbert one with the little flourishes from myself, as mentioned by Dan Kennedy, and reflect on it with some insights and perspectives. So first things first, there is nothing new under the sun. So listening to this old Dan Kennedy recording, he said, here's this, he just rattled off this old Gary Halbert stick letter formula. And we'll talk about stick letters in just a second and what that is. And basically this is very similar to the upsell formula that I've heard from Justin Goff, and I've used it before. And the reminder here is that what works. So for example, Gary Halbert was known for using like pennies and dollar bills and like things stuck to the top, grabbers stuck to the top of envelopes. And Dan Kennedy uses those a lot too. Well, if you look all the way back at the Robert Collier letter book, and Robert Collier was writing in like the Roaring 20s and the Great Depression, he was using those things too. And so really, like, there is a reason to study the masters. There's a reason to study the old stuff. Yes, you want to know all the new opportunities and new tactics and new technologies. And at the same time, all of these like classic formulas that you can get out of studying the old stuff, well, often if you can just translate those to the new technology, the new opportunities, the new media, then like you're able to create these incredible breakthroughs without a lot of effort. And this upsell copywriting formula is just yet another example of that. Now, before we get into the formula itself, I do want to talk about where to use this. So Dan mentioned this being Gary Halbert's stick letter. And in direct mail, you didn't have the opportunity that you have online here in funnels today, right? So in direct mail, you would sell the product and you would send out the product, and then you would want somebody to consume the product, but you could also use that as an opportunity to sell the next product. And so the stick letter is basically something that you put in the front of an information product. It can be your package insert that you stick on top of whatever they're receiving. It's a letter that's meant to make the sale stick, to get somebody resold on the opportunity presented in the product that they just purchased and just received, right? And so that in itself is an opportunity for an upsell, in addition to really getting them to engage with the product that they just bought. So that's where Gary Halbert was practicing these on that same principle, that as soon as someone buys, as soon as someone is engaging with your offer for the first time, that is often the best time to encourage them to get even more from you, whatever is the next logical offer in the sequence. Now, today, this is much faster and easier because we have things called funnels, right? Where you can actually have somebody, they place an order through your website or through your funnel. And as soon as they place that order, they're put onto another page which says, hey, I have this one-time offer for you that is something else that I think you might find interesting. And this is not the formula, by the way. This is kind of a bad formula. But I have something else that I think you might find interesting. Would you like it, right? And yes, you can certainly do that, and you can certainly approach it in that way. But from just a sheer mechanical conversion architecture standpoint, this is the offer that's made initially or immediately after they make that first purchase, right? You can also use this in other places like confirmation emails, right? Somebody just bought something and there's going to be some kind of confirmation email. Maybe there's going to be some download or access instructions. Well, this is another great place to use it if you use it well. So with all that said, let's just dive into it. And this is going to be quick. It's going to be a quick episode. Okay, so this, remember, it comes from Gary Halbert. I'm sure Gary Halbert was not the first person to do it. He was a student of the masters as well. Dan Kennedy used it often. There's a version of this that I heard taught by Justin Goff as part of much deeper upsell teaching. But basically, you say, hey, congratulations, you just made a brilliant decision. You are a smart, attractive, wonderful, underappreciated human being. A little bit of flattery goes a long way here. You're brilliant. You've just made a brilliant decision here. And because you've made this decision, here are all the results that you're about to get. And note, this should reinforce all of the results that you promised in the sales letter. So the sales letter says, if you make this decision, you're going to get these results. The upsell flips that and says, hey, you made that decision, great decision. Here are the results that you can expect to get, right? And so what you're doing is you're reselling them on the decision they just made. You're making them feel good about the decision that they just made. If you just go straight to the next offer, you can actually make them feel bad about the decision they just made. Like, oh, shoot, that wasn't enough. Or this person's just like scamming me, trying to sell me everything, just trying to take all my money, right? But you can say, hey, you just made a brilliant decision, and like you're going to get all these results, and you don't have to do anything else, and you're going to get these results. And if you want even more, we'll get to that in just a second, right? But we say, here's the results you're about to get because of the decision you just made. You're awesome and incredible, and the world is about to see your brilliance. Playing that up, underappreciated a little bit. You're about to be appreciated. And then, throw it in as a PS, or if it's a longer upsell, maybe what you have is the first 10, 20%, the first minute or two of the upsell is all of this, like, hey, you've made this brilliant decision, and here's the results that's going to lead to, right? And then you can transition into a logical sales pitch. Hey, since you're so smart, since you make such good decisions, here's something else you should buy. Now, of course, that part needs to be finessed a little better than that too. It needs to be presented as that next logical step, either to get more of what they just bought and are going to want more of because it's going to run out, like if it's a consumable product or if they're going to get to the end of it, right? Or the next logical step, hey, for example, in marketing, there's, conversion and traffic, right? So it could be, you just bought this great thing on how to convert more of your website visitors into customers. Well, let me show you how to get more traffic to your website. So everybody's going to see your brilliant conversion marketing copy, right? So that's it, right? You've made the smart decision. You're wonderful. You're an awesome person. You're underappreciated, and you're about to be appreciated because here's all the results you're going to get. You're going to be able to show the world just because of this decision you've just made, and because you're so smart, I also wanted to make sure that you knew about this next opportunity. And it's an upsell copywriting formula that works. It works much better than just, hey, here's another offer for you, right? Maybe super simple offers that may make sense, but for most of us, when we're writing copy in competitive markets, this is what works. So my call to action for you at the end of this episode, ask yourself how you can use this. What opportunities do you have to go back and edit current upsells or to write new upsells that leverage this formula? Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get more content like this delivered to you. If you do want to go deeper into all sorts of different copywriting applications and opportunities and approaches to copywriting, my flagship copywriting course is called High Velocity Copywriting. I'll include a link to that in the description as well. It is part of my BTMSinsiders streaming library of copywriting and marketing courses, where you pay one low fee and you get instant streaming access to the entire catalog. And check out the links in the description if you would like to get more from me. I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.